But one man who joins us now, the current under-20s head coach, Chris Whitaker, and a Waratahs and Wallabies legend. It's great to have you on Rugby Heaven. Always good to go down memory lane, right? What are your memories of that epic win over the Crusaders for New South Wales back in 2003?
Not a great deal, just that kick, Paul. I remember the excitement when he kicked it. I don't think he's kicked that far in his life, but he's only got one leg at the moment with his broken leg. So
big crowd too, Wits, wasn't it, back in those days?
Yeah, we used to get good crowds back there. Yeah, we were averaging 30-odd thousand, so there was a good atmosphere there, and it was a good one to get home with.
Hey, Wits, we'll just go to where you've just come back from a course over in South Africa. It's for the under-20s competition over there. Were you happy with the results? Undefeated under-20s team. You took over as coach in the off-season from Nathan Gray. How have you found this younger group of players and the pathway they've come through?
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, it's obviously different coaching senior guys. You know, they're so enthusiastic and keen to learn. You know, it's hard because you don't get them for a long time. You know, we had them for kind of a week before that Japan 23s game, and then we had them for a few days before this tournament. So, you know, they connected really well. They got on really well. They're a tight bunch, and they really enjoyed themselves. So, you know, to get the results as well was pleasing.
What does a tour like this do for young men? Like to engage them in the sport, show them what the world has to offer? Is it enough to keep them in this game?
I hope so. I mean, that was the whole thing as well when you go over there. You know, we took them on safari. You know, we had lions walking around the safari car we were in. They had elephants and giraffes and things like that. So, you know, some of the guys had never been outside Australia. So, you know, I think it opened their eyes to what rugby can bring. You know, obviously playing international games, you know, in a place like South Africa is pretty special and something that, you know, definitely one of the benefits of playing rugby.
I watched these couple of games, these last two games, of course, your game against Argentina and then the South African team against New Zealand. Gee, I tell you what, there's some talent. Very high-scoring games. If anyone hasn't seen it, go and watch the South African game versus the junior Kiwis. That was an incredible high-scoring game. Is there some talent that will come out of this team, this Wallaby team, to potentially go and play a World Cup in 2 years, or is that too short, do you think?
No, I think there's probably a few guys there. Yeah, you just don't know, you know, how far they're going to go on. You know, we had some outstanding talent in that team just there. You know, obviously Eamon Doyle, who was their captain for the tournament, he played every minute, so he was outstanding. Sid Harvey, who's actually been in the sevens development pathways at the moment, he came out of sevens just a few weeks ago and joined us on the tour. So, I know there's guys that really, you know, really show some attributes to go to the next level. That's for sure.
Who's the sleeper in the team's Wits? Who's the guy that you know, probably not the superstar, but you think, gee, if some work goes into this young man, he could really become something special. You got a couple of players like that in there?
Yeah, there's a few there actually. Like the two guys I just mentioned. There's a guy that just scored the tries before, Nick Conway. He's still eligible to play for the Aussie U20s this year, so he's a talent that's just going to keep getting better. You know, there's guys right across the board. You know, the hard thing about these tournaments is that it's 5-day turnarounds as well, so you don't get much time to install too much for the next game. There's a lot of it to do with recovery, and then, you know, getting on the field once or twice just to make sure everything's sweet to go for the next game.
Brad, are you looking for new clients?
No, I'm just saying.
Sports management.
Wait, 5-day turnaround. Young bodies, they heal. They're not like us in which they're young. They're under 20s. They heal pretty quick. 5-day turnarounds are easy for them.
Yeah, they do. It's squad of 31, mate. If you're going to sign some new players, you get rid of that thing on your top lip.
Yes.
Come on, mate. Look, at least I can grow hair. I'm looking at your melon. Is that a roller skating rink for flies up there? What's going on?
Mate, that's a low blow. I love that you got into him about the moustache there, Wits. That's outstanding. Looking a little further ahead, obviously, there's the Junior World Cup later in the year in Italy. Big focus for you for that. And obviously, feeling confident going into that, given your results in the Rugby Championship?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, there's a lot of work to do still. We've got a 3-day camp in a couple of weeks in Sydney. Just another touch point for them, really. And then we get together for 3 days before we go to Italy. Yeah, so it'd be exciting. I think we've built a little bit of confidence out of that trip in the TRC. You know, we play Africa in the first game again in the World Cup. Then we've got Scotland, and then we've got England to round out the pool stages. So a tough physical 3 games to get out of our pool, but we're pretty excited about it.
Yeah, no doubt. Rugby fans will be very excited to watch you go to work as well. Good to see the junior pathways producing some good talent and good results. Great to chat to you, Wits. Thanks for joining us.
No problems. Thanks, guys.
Good stuff.
Yeah, he can come back any time if he's going to skew Matt Rogers about facial hair.
The stitch up. I will say, like, as a coach to young men, like as a player playing with Wits, he was one of the greatest captains I played with.
Yeah.
Just his work ethic, his ability to transfer information, and the way he played the game. So for him to be at the helm of that under-20s team, I just don't think there could be a better guy doing it.
You always find the players who sit a long time on the bench, like he sat behind George Gregan for so many years.
Yep.
He could study the game, understand where to. And the good thing about it, losing him from the Waratahs as an assistant coach, to then still retain him in the game is pretty important.
Keeping in the system, very important, absolutely.